gotta get off this train.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Bullet Train on 4K, but before we do that, if you guys are into 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, video games, and some tech along the way, then consider subscribing, because we do all that. So Bullet Train was released in 2022, directed by David Leitch. David Leitch has the same exact birthday as me, November 16th, pretty cool, and he also directed a little film you might know, John Wick, so keep that in mind when you ask yourself what type of movie Bullet Train is. He also directed Hobbs and Shaw and Atomic Blonde, which I haven't seen yet, but I do want to check out because I like all the other movies he has directed. He also directed Deadpool 2, I forgot to mention that, and that also another excellent movie. And that explains some of the cast and the cameos in this movie. So coming in at just over 2 hours, 126 minutes to be exact, Bullet Train is a comedy action thriller, is what it's listed as on Wikipedia. I guess I would agree with that. It had its laughs, it had plenty of action, and it was pretty thrilling. So basically, if you do not know what Bullet Train is, it is a comedy action thriller. Mainly it takes place, majority of the movie, on a bullet train in Tokyo. The movie opens up to a little boy in a hospital bed, and his father is very upset about it. And then it looks like we're going on his journey, but there's a lot of players in this movie. That was just the introduction to him. So then we see him board a train, and then Brad Pitt gets on the same train, and then there's just like I said, there's a bunch of other players in this, and they all vary in their specialties. Brad Pitt is actually filling in for somebody. He's a hired contractor of some sort, not quite an assassin, but he knows how to handle himself. And then there's another group. There's the twins, they call it, Lemon and Tangerine. Everyone had code names. Brad Pitt's name, his code name was Ladybug. That's the only name we got for him, because he is lucky. And that plays a factor in the whole movie. So like I said, there's a ton of major players on this train, and they don't really understand why, and not all of them really know that the others are on the train. Everyone's got their own job, and no one knows that all these other guys and gals are on the train. So Brad Pitt's character, Ladybug, is tasked with retrieving a briefcase with a train sticker on the handle. That's all he knows. That's his job. He knows nothing about all the other players on the train. And then there is another group who is holding a man hostage, who we find out his father is basically a big shot in, I wouldn't say the Chinese mafia, but it's something of the sort. Not quite the Yakuza, but something in that neighborhood of line of work. And they are the owners of the briefcase. Now inside the briefcase, we don't know what it is yet, but we later find out it's money and gold. Then we have the Hornet, played by Zazie Beetz, and she is called the Hornet because she uses venom. Now there was a throwaway line in the beginning of the movie. Well, it wasn't a throwaway line. There was a news broadcast of a snake that was stolen from the zoo, an extremely poisonous snake, and she's been using this snake to extract the venom to take out targets. And she was at the wolf's wedding. Now that's another character, another name that all we got was the wolf, and she poisoned the entire guest list. And now the wolf, who is a very skilled and well-known hitman in Mexico, is on vengeance to go after the person who killed his wife and the entire family at the wedding. So again, there's a lot of players on this train, and not everyone knows who's there or why they're there or who they even are. One person got them there, and that is the White Death. Now, the White Death is the big baddie of the movie. The White Death was played by Michael Shannon, and he did a great job on this. I really enjoyed his performance. So he has a personal vendetta with all of these people, all of these hitmen, assassins, private contractors, all of these people on the train, and he put them all there for a reason, because he blames them all for his wife's death, except for Brad Pitt, Ladybug's character, because that was technically an accident. And again, there was a lot of humor in this movie, a ton of action, it was a thriller, and it was just a really, really fun ride. I really enjoyed my time with it. Brad Pitt's Ladybug character was awesome. Brad Pitt, great performance by Brad Pitt. I mean, I love him in most movies, but he's exceptional job in this. You know, he was so lucky with everything that happened. He was killing all of these people on accident. He was just trying to defend himself, just trying to complete his job, and grab the suitcase, and people are dying left and right, and it's just luck. That's why he was called the Ladybug. So it all works out, and all these pieces are put into play, and it's just, they did a really fantastic job. I think it's a tight script, tight screenplay. I think everyone nailed their roles. I had a great time with the movie, and there's no unanswered questions. This is a big Matt movie for me. It's not the most complex to understand. It's just a really fun popcorn movie, thrill ride with a ton of action. And it's just, I had a great time with it. I ranked it pretty high in my letterbox. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Let's talk about the 4K Blu-ray. So Sony released this 4K Blu-ray of Bullet Train on October 18th, 2022. And I'm going to say right off the bat, the biggest negative I had with this is the price. This was $31 before tax. I haven't really, and the Steelbook is like $42. I don't know why they're raising the bar so high. Even like boutique labels start at like $27. So I don't know where Sony had the balls to put this at $31 for a basic slipcover version. I mean, you get the 4K, you get the Blu-ray, and you get the digital. So right off the bat, the negative, the price of admission, that is going to be the big turnoff for people. But other than that, let's jump into the 4K review itself. So it's got a nice colorful slipcover. The movie is very colorful. I watched it on my OLED. It looked really great. It's got Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. And once you pop off the slipcover, obviously we have the same thing on the inside. And then you have your Blu-ray and your 4K discs in there, side by side. Just your basic run-of-the-mill 2-disc 4K set. So, visuals. Dolby Vision. Very colorful movie. If you are familiar with physical media, you know that Sony is probably the top dog in big studios as far as their 4K disc releases. I think Sony, aside from boutique labels, I think Sony is putting out amazing 4K discs. I can't think of a bad Sony disc off the top of my head. Generally, Sony knocks it out of the park, and this is no exception. It started filming in 2020, so it's all modern equipment, all modern cameras. It's the works. It's a new movie, and it just looks incredible. It's fantastic. For visuals, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5, easily, hands down. Sony knocks it out of the park. Dolby Vision really helps a lot with this. Well, Dolby Vision, I love Dolby Vision. It's got regular HDR as well if you don't have a Dolby Vision compatible TV or player. But I suggest the Dolby Vision if you have that option, because it really helps with all the colorful stuff and the contrast between the colors and the blacks. I watched this on my OLED, so it looked fantastic. This wasn't just a slap-together movie. I think the production value was very high. I think everything looked great. The way they shot some of these scenes were awesome. There is a ton of CGI in this movie, but it doesn't look terrible. But maybe 20 years from now, we'll say, hey, who knows? Just like some stuff from the early 2000s. But I think it looked pretty great. So, like I said earlier, this does have a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. It's a good mix. It sounds good. It gave my surround sound a good workout. I wouldn't say it's the best Atmos track I've ever heard, but again, that also plays to the movie itself. If there's a ton of going on, which there's some scenes where this really amped up, and it sounded great. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I've heard better. I think particularly one of my favorite Atmos tracks recently was Moonfall, one of those disaster movies. That had an amazing Atmos track. Ambulance had a good track. But again, this is a great Atmos track. It sounds good. I would give it a 4 out of 5 on the Atmos track. I think it sounded great. There was nothing wrong with it. There is some extras on the disc. There's not a lot. So right off the back of the box, it says there's over an hour worth of extras. So overall, I'm going to give this release a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the movie. I had a great time watching it. I think Sony really knocked it out of the park with this. It visually stunning. It sounded fantastic. It's a great disc. I like the colors on the slipcover. It's simple on the spine, nothing crazy, but good release. I think the biggest negative for me that's really holding it back from the 10 out of 10, and I don't think this is a common thing. I think Sony's kind of testing the water on this one. So maybe we should kind of vote with our wallets here. $31 for a slipcover and $42 for the steelbook. I think that's a little insane. It's usually, what, $35 for the steelbook and $29.99? So what, it's $1 more, but still, you know, I think that's a lot for the 4K, because some 4Ks come out $25. We can even get boutique labels for $22 right off the bat. So I think the price is a bit high. Will it drop down for Black Friday? Maybe, most likely, maybe $5 off, maybe $10. Who knows? It might be $12.99. You don't know. I think it's worth the watch. I think it's worth having in the collection. It's just that price that really is steering me away from saying go grab it, because I think that is a bit pricey. But I had a great time watching it. I'm glad I have it in the collection, and I will watch this many more times over the years because I really like this type of movie. And that's about all I have to say for Bullet Train. So if you guys like this video, please consider liking the video, because that's the best way to help us out. And also, if you guys are interested in picking up Bullet Train, we'll post our Amazon affiliate link in the description below. But until next time, guys, have a great day.